Amarachi was only 22 years when she got a job at one of the biggest IT firms in the country. Bright-eyed and full of romantic hope, for 2 years she had been in what she think or believed was the safest love she had ever known. His name was Mr. Tunde, gentle, mature, calm, and deeply attentive. He told her all about himself and how his ex-wife maltreated him in their marriage. He told her he lived alone. He also told her he wanted peace of mind after years of a broken marriage. And Amarachi believed him with all her heart. She was blinded by Mr. Tunde's kindness and affection. He treated her with so much tenderness she had always prayed for. He spoiled her so much. He even remembered her birthday, her favorite food, and the way her voice changed when she was nervous. Mr. Tunde would always spend time with she and her friends in parties. When he held her, she felt chosen. When he spoke to her, she felt understood. He was the perfect man for her, regardless of his age. She never suspected anything, not once. One summer afternoon, Amarachi went to visit her mother and also learned that her auntie was in town. Her mother asked her to go visit Auntie Ezinne, her late father's niece. Their family's #1 career woman, light-skinned lawyer, so stylish, like an Asian model. The way she speaks and carries herself will make heads turn. She had recently relocated to the city after so many years of living and studying abroad. Her mother was in the kitchen preparing ofe onugbu, popularly known as bitter leaf soup, when Amarachi walked in to help her. Amara, I've not seen that woman in ages, her mother said to her. Please, my daughter, make out time to go and visit her. Greet her for me, I know your obsession with that your auntie. Help her settle in. You know she doesn't have anybody here in the city, except us. Her mother pleaded with her. Amarachi agreed immediately, smiling sheepishly. Auntie Ezinne was one of her favorite aunties while growing up as a child. They had only been speaking on phone calls and videos. Auntie Ezinne was her idol. She was so excited to finally meet her in person and spend quality time with her. That weekend trip would have been one of her happiest days on earth. But destiny had other plans and surprises for her. The very moment Amarachi stepped into Auntie Ezinne's spacious living room, something in her chest tightened. The house smelled of lavender and carried a familiar aura. Auntie Ezinne saw her entering the living room and quickly came downstairs to welcome her. She hugged her warmly, showering her with compliments and praises. Oh, see my little princess. Wow, you've grown into a beautiful lady, my dear. So pretty, she said. She kept complimenting her, and that made Amarachi shy and acting like a grown-up baby. She was just smiling. They ate and talked and laughed together until Auntie Ezinne excused herself to take a phone call in the garden. Left alone, Amarachi walked around, admiring the spacious living room and luxurious couch. The decorations, it all feels familiar, like the ones in her house. Wow, Auntie Ezinne sure have the same tastes as Tunde, she said to herself, walking towards the walls, lined up with family portraits, weddings, vacations, graduations, all the family memories. All of a sudden, she froze. Her breath caught. Her heartbeat stumbled. There, on the biggest golden frame, was Mr. Tunde, smiling confidently, dressed in a fine agbada, and beside him stood Auntie Ezinne, wearing the same smile. Amarachi stood there like a statue at that moment, staring at the portrait like she had seen a ghost or something. The man she loved for 2 years was her auntie's husband, not ex-husband, not separated, not divorced. Their wedding portrait hanging there. Amarachi stepped closer, trembling violently. Her mind refused to accept what her eyes saw. This had better be a coincidence, a mistake, a dream, she prayed to wake up. But the name engraved on the frame burnt her soul and shattered her heart into a million pieces. Mr. and Mrs. Oluwatunde Eze, 12th November. Her legs weakened. Her eyes welled up with tears. She's trying so hard to control. Her lover, the man who claimed to be divorced, was her auntie's husband. It was too hard to accept the truth at that moment. The sliding door opened. Auntie Zine walked in, smiling, until she saw Amarachi's face. "What is it, my darling? Are you all right?" she quickly asked her. But then, Amarachi pointed at the picture, unable to breathe or explain what was going on that moment in her head. She hesitates, flooded with heartbreak and confusion. This man," she whispered. "Auntie, this man is he's my..." But the words refused to leave her mouth as she used her hands to cover her mouth in shock. Auntie Amarachi's smile disappeared instantly. Her expression shifted from confusion to suspicion to a deep, heartbreaking realization. She wondered what Amarachi is trying to say. She managed to look at Amarachi with a mixed feeling, folding her hands. "That is Tunde, my husband. Ever since he relocated to Nigeria 5 years ago, he hardly visits me in London. Even when I miscarried our baby, he complained of being too busy with his new company. That's why I had to relocate to Nigeria to be with him." "It seems you have met him. How do you know Tunde?" she asked quietly, her voice sharper, colder. Amarachi's tears flowed down her cheek. She collapsed on the nearest couch on her right. "Auntie, he said he was divorced. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." She cried out in pain and disappointment. Auntie Zine's hands flew to her mouth in shock. She staggered back as though she had been stabbed several times on her chest mercilessly. "Amarachi, you didn't know? How can you date a man of that caliber, a man of his age, and didn't know he was married? You love them old?" She kept asking her so many questions. It was then Amarachi learned the truth. Auntie Zine and Mr. Tunde were not divorced. They were separated because of distance, infidelity, emotional abuse, and he had left her abroad and returned home to continue living his dirty life. But their divorce was never finalized. Tunde had simply moved on with Amarachi, preying on a new heart, building another secret life for himself in Nigeria, while her auntie was craving his touch and suffering alone abroad. Amarachi felt her world crumble. Every memory she cherished and had with Tunde had become a poison. Every kiss felt like betrayal. Every promise felt like a lie crafted to blind her. But the worst pain wasn't for herself. It was for her auntie, a woman who trusted her so much, a woman that is just recovering from her own heartbreak, a woman unknowingly sharing grief with her own blood. How painful it was for her. But Auntie Zine didn't blame her at all. She constantly cursed her husband Tunde and blamed herself for not protecting her cousin sister from men like him. The two women cried together in the living room, two victims of the same man. Amarachi couldn't look at her auntie the entire time and walked away from her house that day in shame. When Tunde arrived home later that evening, at night after dinner, Antezine summoned him and asked him about his affair with a girl named Amarachi. Tunde's eyes widened, shocked at the sudden question. The truth erupted like thunder. How could you do this, Tunde? She's just 22 years. Why can't you date someone your own age? But no, you choose my cousin's sister. She continued crying. Tunde tried to explain. He tried to twist words. He even tried to manipulate her emotions. But Auntie Zine didn't give her a single crack to crawl through. Some moments later, Auntie Zine looked at him, ashamed of his act, and told him she would finalize the divorce process so he could go ahead and live his dirty life. And for the first time, Tunde faced the consequences of his webs of lies and betrayal. He walked straight to the wine bar and poured himself a glass of whiskey, angrily sat down there and drank it at once. His face looked like an angry beast, but the deed has already been done. The visit that was supposed to be a peaceful weekend became the turning point of Amara's life. She went back home that night, angry, heartbroken, and mad at everything. The woman she looked up to, her idol, was the same woman she mistakenly hurt. She cried her eyes out in daze. Her mother asked her severally what happened in her auntie's house, but her mouth cannot carry the weight of the abomination she had committed unknowingly to her auntie. Her mother also tried to reach Auntie Zinne, but her number wasn't available since that day. She was confused, and after some days, her friends came visiting. Amarachi, what is really going on? We have not heard from you for days. We've been calling you, but no response for days now. Are you okay? What is wrong? Amarachi managed to raise a brow. It's Tunde. I never knew he was my auntie's husband, she said while crying her heart out. Her friends were shocked. It's a lie, Amarachi. You have been dating him for 2 years now, and I thought you said he's a divorcee. How come? Wife from where? They both asked her. Unknowingly, her mother was standing by the door, eavesdropping, and immediately walked in on them. Eh? Ewo, Chimo, Amarachi have killed me, oh. What did I just hear you girls talking about? Eh? Your auntie's husband. You and him. What? She fell on the ground crying. Amarachi, I'm very disappointed in you. How could you do this to your own blood, your own family member? She asked and kept cursing her. Amarachi and her friends were so shocked at her outburst and bowed their heads in shame. She managed to calm her mother down some moments later and explained everything to her, from how they met, started dating, until when she visited her auntie's house and saw their portraits on the wall. She learned that love without truth is a trap, that age does not guarantee honesty, that sometimes fate reveals secrets in ways we never expect. And most painfully, she learned that the heart can love deeply, yet still not know who it is loving. This story is a painful reminder that love, when built on lies, is nothing but a trap. It teaches us that trust must be earned, not assumed, and that love without truth is a time bomb waiting to explode. Amarachi loved sincerely, blindly, believing in the words of a man who wore deception like a second skin. She never questioned, never doubted, because she believed a gentle tone meant a pure heart. But appearances are the greatest marks of all. Kindness, attention, maturity, they can be tools for manipulation. in the hands of the wrong person. Tunde's betrayal teaches us that age does not equal integrity. A man can be older, yet still lack the wisdom and morality expected of his years. Love should never cloud the eyes so much that the mind loses its ability to think clearly. Amarachi's word shattered that day, not just because she was deceived, but because she unknowingly became part of another woman's pain, her own auntie's pain. That twist of fate wasn't just cruel, it was a mirror held to her heart, showing us that the choices we make or accept in ignorance can still wound those we love. But the deeper lesson goes beyond the heartbreak. It speaks to the importance of self-awareness, patience, and discernment in relationships. Not everyone who holds your hands wishes you well. Not everyone who knows your weakness intends to protect them. Let this story remind us that love can be beautiful, but love without truth will destroy more than it builds. People lie, but lies always find their ways back home. Every decision made in love should be guided with equal parts of emotion and wisdom, and that even the deepest love can be blinded if it refuses to see the signs. Family connections are sacred. Knowing the truth is not only your right, but your responsibility. And finally, the greatest lesson Amarachi learned was that you can love someone with all your heart and still not truly know them. Trust is not given, it must be earned. Love is not just a feeling, it must stand on a foundation of truth. Because when trust is broken, hearts are broken. And when love becomes deceit, it becomes a wound that may never fully heal. And in the end, Amarachi learned the lesson that many learned too late. Love should never cost you your clarity, and trust should never be given to a stranger wearing a familiar smile. Thank you all for watching my video. I hope you love my stories. Please like and drop your comments to cheer me up. Don't forget to share this video. And please subscribe to my channel for more exciting story. See you all in my next video. Bye.